Um, there's quite a few more things that I want to discuss. Um, and there's my own work, some of the really cool stuff that I'm excited to show off. But I want to uh, first um, do a little showcase of the bazaar. We have, as you know, every one of our streams, we try to showcase 3 marketplace content um, that we think that our users would enjoy, and generally I call in Leon um, to do that showcase for us and let you all see some of the really cool and interesting stuff that is available to you on the bazaar. So I will join the call with Leon so he can show you some of this content, and after that I'll show you some of the biggest and uh, more interesting, let's say, features that are coming to the Forge, as well as doing the giveaway um, for a gift card. Let's start the giveaway thing now. Actually, I think that would be a good idea. So if we open it now, hopefully that works. So if you type in chat #Forge is best, then you should be entered into the draw. Hopefully that works. Yes, it seems to be working. So as we do that, you can we can do the giveaway entry, and we'll show you the bazaar stuff at the same time. And once we're done, we'll do the draw for the giveaway. Let's switch to trying to do my thing here. Let's switch to Leon. I'm a little lost. Okay, there it is. Switching. Does
Hello.
that work? Hello.
Mwahahaha. Viewer beware. You're in for a scare.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's do this at the max quality.
Mm-hmm.
Our wonderful new screen here you can see. But little did they suspect I would bring forth the Halloween spooktacular even post-Halloween. Because I cannot be deterred even past common sense. And behold, my frightening Halloween costume. Mwahahaha.
Okay. Please scare us. Your camera is unloading.
It's loading.
There you go.
So, this is my schoolgirl outfit that I was going to wear for the original Halloween stream. But the problem is, I'm not a cute girl. And I'm not even a cute guy, really. But I think you can see that this costume doesn't quite fit me.
What? It doesn't fit you?
No, turns out that the biggest size schoolgirl outfit I can purchase doesn't fit.
You have to get back to school. I think that might help.
Yeah. I need to drop the freshman 30. Is that what you call it? Yeah. But today, getting serious.
All right.
We will be showing off 3 really cool pieces of paid content. The Edo Town package by Tom Kartos. Mark Drummond J's Altar package, and then finally the Goblin Explorers Endless Dungeon issue 1. These all have maps of some sort, but as you'll see, their offerings will vary quite a lot. And we are going to start with the Altar. So, allow me to bring you all to the map. So, Mark Drummond J is a creator that we've showcased before on the Forge. And you can see here that it looks very lovely. It's a alien looking sci-fi map which is just a rarity. There's not a lot of creators who make actual sci-fi themed maps. I can't think of any on the Bazaar. Can you, KaKaRoTo?
No, I'm not sure that I can.
Yeah. And I think that for people wanting to make a really out of place D&D location, or who are trying to run adventures like Starfinder, Mark Drummond J is your guy. You'll see here that this is an alien altar, but it's a very unusual looking alien altar. It has that disturbing like appearance that you'd expect out of something alien in a big barren landscape with unusual colored vegetation. There's perfectly smooth stone leading up to a staircase where there's some kind of altar or obelisk, and you're not quite sure its purpose, and neither would your players be. Something very interesting about this map, by the way, is that it comes with a handout, and the handout assumes you're approaching from this obelisk climb, which I actually really like because normally it's such a small thing, but normally your players are walking along a path into a map, but here it assumes you're just walking out from this wasteland into the map. It's such a good off kilter way to bring your players in. And
Yeah,
I
that looks really good, and I'm surprised because the the amount of work needed to draw this is and the perspective, it's really awesome to be able to see that kind of handout coming with the map itself.
exactly. I really just really love it. And it also has variants, of course, because Mark Drummond J's map packages always come with variants. So we'll see here that maybe, for instance, you're narrating a thing where your players are walking in and they can see the rituals completing. And suddenly, the entire map is filled with water with a strange portal. Oh gosh, what's happening? What's happening? And then you begin to see the water turn red from the rift opened into space. By the way, I did touch up this map a little. So one of the really cool things I like to show off. This is direct from Foundry VTT's content creation guide. They show creative ways to use the lighting. This is ghostly lighting with an special animation speed and intensity, a special color, and suddenly the water looks like it's animated, which is just beautiful. I mean, look at it.
That looks really good. And
Exactly.
can you show me a little all of those lighting around the obelisks?
This
There's
is the default lighting.
wow.
So to be clear, I wouldn't normally recommend these many lighting sources.
Mm-hmm.
However, since it is a pre-made scene, Mark Drummond J has a better idea of exactly how it'll be used and stuff, so it's a little better to set it up. So it's a little easier to set it up this way. If you're doing a random scene, I would be a little more careful, but it runs fine on my machine, and I'm pretty sure it runs fine on other people's. Uh And then you can reach the final boss. As the water turns red, as blood begins to soak into the soil, the true evil is revealed. Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
You can even see him in the background of my webcam there if you look at the very charming vampire man there overlooking me.
Yeah. And for those wondering why we use the Nosferatu token so much, it's just because that movie has gone into the public domain because it's so old. So it's actually free to use by anybody. So we thought it would be fun to just use public domain content when showing stuff. So yeah, but yeah, Nosferatu would be an amazing big bad evil guy to have in your game.
He gets made as a joke a lot. I mean, it's infamous that he's a joke on SpongeBob SquarePants.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've ever watched the movie, uh, I think the actor's name is Lugosi. It's actually a genuinely good holding up movie, not in terms of like the other acting, but just the way he behaves as Nosferatu. It's genuinely ominous. So I definitely recommend giving that a watch and then springing it on your ungrateful players who make fun of you for using Nosferatu. Uh,
Yeah.
right. So you can get this on the Bazaar, where if you purchase it, we'll host it for free. It doesn't cost you any data quota or anything or asset quota, and you can also download it for use outside of the Bazaar, only $9.99. And it
Awesome.
comes with several different variants, perfect for whatever use case you need. So next, we're going to show off some of the free modules. So right now we have pointers and pings enabled. Pointers and pings is an older module. I remember it being here since 0.4 or 0.5. It might have been even older. And it's a module created by Moril. He's a longtime module developer. And he made one of the first modules for 5e as a custom character sheet. For actual player character sheets, mind you. There was the better NPC sheet early on, of course, but he was one of the first people to make a sheet. It's unfortunately been abandoned because of so many 5e updates happening, and Moril has always been a hobbyist modder. He's been uninterested in going professional, but to be quite honest, he could if he wanted, I feel like. He's such a
Mm-hmm.
skilled person who understands what people want and handles such common use cases that he could. So let me show you. I'm pressing X on my keyboard right now, and it creates a big pointer finger. Now, if any of you have ever used map tools, you'll know that despite all of its clunkiness, its pointer tools are really something. It's really nice to, instead of having a small little dot showing your players where your mouse cursor is, you can make a really big hand that can't be missed and just point to something and be like, hey guys, pay attention. And if you really want to indicate something on the map, like say a boss or a important obelisk, you can point to this and be like, "Hey guys, the ritual is happening here," which is just a really nice, swell feature. You can even, by default, force people's attention to a point on the map by right-clicking while holding X, and your screen and everyone's screens will be dragged to that point centered on it. So it's perfect for centering the player's attention. And you can also configure it, of course, and it has a lot of cool options. You can apply it to all of your players, for instance, if you want everyone to have a consistent option. And I can change it here to be, maybe I want to have arrows, so I just change it to that, close out, and now it's arrows. And it offers the option to upload your own custom images as well, so you can custom tailor your Foundry adventure. Like maybe you're running a Zelda themed campaign and you want to borrow assets from Breath of the Wild. You can grab icons from Breath of the Wild and have it be the stuff for your pointer tool and stuff.
Yeah. I feel like there's as much or even more work that went into that configuration settings dialogue than in the functionality itself, because it looks so polished and there's just so much that you can configure and it just looks really great, you know?
I know, it's insane. It threw me off because when I first installed it, I actually had problems using it because like it can't be this bloody simple, can it? And it and it was, and I absolutely messed with myself because I couldn't understand how simple it was. I'm not going to say it's flawless because it does have some small clunkiness to it, but
Mm-hmm.
it really is one of the best free modules you can get for like software wise. To the point that I would like something like this in the base functionality of Foundry VTT, because it's very good for accessibility. Because the small little circle thing, it's great, but if you have bad vision, it can be really hard to see the small little pointers.
Yeah.
Uh, and the other module I wanted to show off today is actually one with very similar functionality, just called pings instead of pointers and pings. This is another free module. This
By
one,
Azurite, I believe.
yes, sir, and it's the one that KaKaRoTo typically goes with, from what I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna left click for a little bit, And simple as that. It unleashes. It's just a ping tool, and this is something I think would probably make it into Foundry functionality if it was being added in.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be great to have it. It's just really nice to, unlike the other one where you have to hold down the pointer tool, this is you just left long click. So if you like a more minimalistic appearance to your VTT experience, this is it. And I think it really speaks to something that, despite pointers and pings being such a known feature, that both modules continue to exist side by side, even if, which is just amazing. So it's really speaks to how customizable the Foundry VTT experience is, right?
Yeah, I think for me, the reason why I go for pings rather than pointer and pings is because it feels more familiar to me coming from Roll20 before, where I believe they had a similar behavior where you click and hold and it lets people know where you are. So it's the exact same user experience. So I was already familiar with it, which
Yeah,
is why, that's the one I go to.
I
And
would
yeah.
I would probably, if you're writing a how to transition from Roll20 to Foundry article, this would be
Hmm.
one of the modules I recommend. And for anyone transitioning to Foundry from Roll20, make sure to install as many modules as you can. It can't go wrong. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to what the other people tell you.
Don't
Just
listen
install
to
all
Leon.
the
He's a
modules you want.
troll.
Just
He's a troll.
okay.
A troll in
Also,
a schoolgirl outfit.
yeah. I do look like a troll in this schoolgirl outfit. There are guys who can pull off the schoolgirl outfit and look cute. I'm not one of them, chat. Uh, Also, finally, shift left click drags you over to the ping. So there's your Roll20 functionality.
Yeah.
And of course, as with all good modules, I always click the wrong menu. You can just scroll down to the module settings and you can customize the permissions here and how long you have to hold down the click for. So I think it's a very customizable tool. And I kind of wish I could have both this and pointers and pings. I wonder, are they interchangeable, KaKaRoTo? Like, can you have them both installed at the same time?
Yeah, I don't see a reason why not.
I'll have to try that out because I do like the pointer tool because, like I said, it reminds me
Yeah.
of map tools, which was one of the functionalities I liked. But it would be nice to just hold down mouse click and
I believe pointer and pings came after the pings module, and the reason why you press a key is probably to avoid that conflict with the long press. So because they function in a different way, I don't see any reason for them to be incompatible with each other. I think that was even like on purpose done that way. So
gotcha. So shifting gears a bit, we will move on to the next module, which is a nice module known as Ito. It's by Tom Kartos, and I almost feel like it needs no introduction, but Tom Kartos is an insanely successful Bazaar creator. Not only does he run one of the most successful map making Patreons out there for RPGs, he is a huge community leader. I believe he runs a creator Discord they have, which is really prominent. And he also helps champion a lot of content creation causes in the RPG space, and for good reason because he's such a cool guy who helps out other content creators, and he's always making such amazing content. I mean, look at this map, guys. This is like one of like 10 maps here, and it's insanely detailed, and all of them have
yeah,
lighting. All of them have walls with very intricate walls at that.
yeah, it's so beautiful and so precise. I
Yeah,
love
and
that.
and yet it's still somehow agnostic enough that it's not going to be distracting if you vary it up, because let's say I want to use it at nighttime, we'll turn down the brightness, and you can see here that the light, that it still looks really nice. And of
Mm-hmm.
course you can always customize it further by like changing how the lighting looks, or by adding weather effects, like maybe configure, maybe I want it raining a bit, let's try out the rain. Uh, Look at that.
It it changes it so much
I
and
know, right?
so quickly. I do prefer the daytime though, just because of how vibrant those colors and those details are in the map. So if I was using this map, I would not want to hide that under the cover of night. I would want all that vibrant color and details to just be visible to all my players.
I think I would agree with you there. And to be clear, this whole package of content, which you can see all the scenes here. I mean, look at how many variants he has. This is insane. He even
Yeah.
has a huge town map. Let's import this really quickly, and we'll go ahead and just activate it. Like, what even is this? This is insane. He not only has a battle map, but he has all these town maps. He has this town map with like snow coming in if you want to do a winter version of the world. And there's an unlabeled and labeled version. So if you want to set up a labeled version for you to use as a guide, you can. It's crazy how good this is.
I bet that the other house that we just saw, its layout is visible somewhere on this map. You know, like you could be in the town and then switch to the other house. Like you're actually visiting one of the houses in in that town or village. You know.
Why don't we look real quick? There is the labeled version of the town map. So just go ahead and pull it up here. Edo town map. Import entry. And just go ahead and activate it. And we can see here that it's right here.
Yep.
Look, you can even see the same vegetation and such.
Yep.
I mean,
I knew it. Knowing
yep.
Tom Cardozo's attention to detail, I knew that he would have done something like that. That's just really great. So you can, just visit the village and then from there you can teleport or something of the sort, just going into each of the different houses where you would have even more content. It's really
And
good.
and here's the insane part of it. It he has clean versions of each map too. Let me bring you to the Geisha house. So if you aren't satisfied with the layout of a certain map, like you want to make it like more crowded or less crowded, you can do that. I know a lot of people like to just do work within Foundry. You can use Molinade tiles or you can use the default tile setup. Keep in mind that Molinade tiles won't index the stuff by default since it's a module and not an asset package.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just go to modules, find Tom Carto's Edo, and then just pop into the assets. And look at all these assets! This is crazy. Look, Japanese culture can set down fans somewhere. Like, let me just. It's not loading right, but that's always happening with tiles. Whether I'm local or. Gosh. Checks the console. Okay, it's just loading slowly.
Yeah, for some reason the drag and drop kind of doesn't always work. I noticed
Tiles have
that.
been tiles have been the eternal bane of me whenever I use Foundry. But here, like, look at this. I placed these beforehand. Let's say the players like kick out a seat. Oh, it goes flying against the wall. You've done it. Oh, they knock over the table. It's knocked to the side here. That
Yep.
kind of thing. So if you want to get a more, well, I guess again, map tools approach.
I was
Uh,
wondering why the clean version had that go table in the middle of one of the rooms. You had placed those yourself before
yes,
the
I
stream.
had.
Okay, that explains it.
And it's not just maps and assets. This is a whole adventure. Allow me to show you all the handouts associated with this. This is telling a political story. I mean, look at this. This, as it's framed within the package, there is a thrilling story of feudal Japan with a lot of fun details about actual legitimate feudal Japan stuff. Like they mention the Barakumen, which are the people who are on the outskirts of society, butchers and morticians, people who specialize in the gritty stuff that would have left them on the outskirts of feudal Japanese society. It tells the story of the Daimyo who must obey the will of the emperor as he orders the Daimyo to ferret out rebels. And meanwhile, the peasants themselves are nearing a peasant rebellion as the De Mayo pressures the civilian peasantry more and more. And yet at the same time,
Can you show
while
some of those journal entries, like
yes,
real quick?
so it
Yeah.
explains here the inn in the bathhouse. It's become a home for the peasantry,
Hmm.
forming a sort of rebellion. And there are people here who will try to, and there are people here trying to engender the rebellion, while there's also guards trying to crush the rebellion. And it's really cool because it tells the story, and my favorite part of it is that it's a dynamic town. You can go from location to location as it becomes important, and choose the peasant's side, which is genuinely sympathetic because they're being crushed down and oppressed, versus the De Mayo side, which from his end he's going, I'm trying to crush a rebellion and prevent the emperor from sending his army and killing this whole town off for going against his orders. And so your players get that nice little moral, like, gray setting that I love to run. So I definitely recommend picking this up on the Bazaar. It's $24.99. Comes with the maps, the assets, and the entries. It's the kind of thing you can run agnostic. You don't need to run it in 5e. You don't need to run it in Pathfinder. It's whatever setting and system you think would fit this town.
That's awesome. It's really impressive. I mean, this is obviously way beyond a standard map pack because you have the map pack with an immense amount of maps and alternate versions and all that. Plus, you have the assets pack. Plus, you have the adventure, the story behind each one. So I think that's an incredibly, impressive module.
I mean,
I
look
love
at
it.
this. This is insane. This whole map here.
Yeah,
Like,
the
look at,
detail on that is absolutely jaw-dropping.
and it's, and I know that some may bulk at the pricing, but it is a lot of maps. Like, this thing could, you could
Yeah,
genuinely run this for 2 or 3 levels, guys. It's that huge. It's so
way
gigantic.
more. I think way more than 2 or 3 levels.
Yeah,
It's,
potentially.
I mean, it
Especially if you,
depends how high level they already are, obviously, but yeah,
yeah. How I would run it is that I would set this down as like the main core of the town buildings, and I'd make a lot of surrounding content. My biggest problem is I've already run a campaign incredibly similar to this. Uh so I can't exactly run this for my players easily, but man, is it juicy. I would love to focus on this some more. I can gush over stuff forever. Like, I still want to gush over that altar package earlier, but
yeah,
I do want to show off one more package today, so we're not stuck here forever.
yeah,
We'll now be showing off Endless Dungeon Issue 1 by the Goblin Explorer. We've shown off his content before. Much like the Eidos package, this is a very agnostic. This is a very system agnostic package.
yeah. Just as a
So,
reminder, because someone asked in chat what it's called again. I believe it's Lido Town from Tom
Edo Town.
Cardos. Edo Town.
Yes.
Um, by Tom Cardos, and I just posted um the links to them again on the chat for those who are interested. I also noticed something when I was actually opening those links earlier, uh, to just keep them on the side for later. That Discord cuts off the stream when the Discord window is not 100% focused. So
Interesting.
yeah, because I would switch and then go back to seeing what you were doing, and on the stream on my second monitor, I can just see that it was all blank all of a sudden. I was like, why was that happening? But I realized it's because when I unfocused. So if some people in the chat or in the stream were noticing blanking of the stream from Leon, that was why. That was my fault, and I apologize.
Yeah, I'm glad to know that my ISP hasn't interfered with the stream yet. I'm sure it'll manage it by the end.
Right.
Anyway, uh, so we have Hippo Man here just exploring it, and you find yourself in this lovely catacombs. There's coffins, there's pyres burning. It's amazing that all these dungeons have people maintaining like the lighting, just putting in fresh coals, stoking the flames, all that. And we come through this nice system of stuff, and it has small little details like, oh, players wouldn't see this, but here's a secret door. And it's free to customize to your wish. And it's obviously bare very barren in terms of like specificity, which I think is a good thing because you can invent and create anything you want around this. It's kind of, I know I praised Edo Town for the detail, but the difference is here you're meant to customize it.
Yeah.
And it is a much lower price, and this isn't the only map. You'll see that these maps are lovingly outlaid with the walls, and that there's all these cool rooms to explore and to choose what to do with. Like, maybe this is a level of a dungeon your players are delving into. Well, that's possible because the Goblin Explorer always makes their dungeons so they can be used almost anywhere.
Hmm.
And there's a certain beauty in that if you like creating your own content. And there's stairways going up and down, so like maybe you can make one stairway that Hippo Man started in over here, the entrance, and then another stairway somewhere else on this map, like here. Uh, this could be the exit to some boss room or something. And to be clear, and not only is there these furnished versions, there are unfurnished versions as well. So once again, you can customize stuff, like maybe with big tiles and stuff, or
Hmm.
with assets from Tom Cardos, maybe
Yeah.
all that sort of thing. And this is one of three maps I believe that comes with the package, and each one has a furnished and unfurnished version.
Cool.
No, correction, four.
Yeah, yeah. Level 0, 1, 2, and 3.
Just as simple as right clicking import entry and then activating the map, and you're good to get to work. People like Goblin Explorer and Neutral Party and other creators, I've always liked their agnostic dungeons. I wouldn't give up specific themed creators like Tom Cardos for or like Mark Drummond for anything, but there's a certain beauty in getting a blank template or a nearly blank template and letting them take care of a lot of the work of creating your own map and getting to the stuff that matters, which is setting up content for your players and just having fun.
Yeah, but
Uh
I don't really think it's a blank canvas personally. I think it's really well done in terms of content already that's in it. I think the dungeon works really well with being the way that it is because you don't want to overload um like a lived in house. This is a dungeon. It has to be, you have that wooden door on the ground that tells a story in itself. You have those bones in the corner. You have those sacks of flour. I don't think it's a blank canvas. I think it's really. I would personally just use it as is. I don't think I need to add anything more to it personally. But obviously, we all have different play styles, and in your case, you might want to furnish it more and like add more details, like different stuff to it. Um, then that's definitely something that's also doable, of course.
yep. And so I'll be ending the Bazaar showcase with this package. It's a very cheap one. Uh, Double checking, only $4.99 on the Forge, so $5 basically. It's a great
Mhm.
value for your wallet, and you get 4 maps of your choosing that you can use. So if you ever need to fill in an adventure, or you have just a basic idea of what you need, but you don't need anything in specific, you can take this and then maybe use some of the extra stuff as ways to fill in your adventure even more. Like maybe some guy came here and he had just almost gotten out of the dungeon, but then he was eaten by bears. That's a fun story to tell. I
Yeah.
I always set out these bizarre showcases to try to depict to people how they can use the content they can purchase on the Forge for their own games. And I
Hmm.
hope I've given you some good ideas about how you could use the content. That's it. I'm going to take off this schoolgirl outfit because I can't breathe in it properly, and I'll pass things back to KaKaRoTo.
All right. Well, thank you. And let me switch back to, let me cut off my camera first and then switch back to that other one. All right. And I'm muting Destiny. There you go. Okay. And we are back to displaying my screen. So just as a recap, we are doing a giveaway in just a few minutes. I'm just going to announce that again in the chat for those who missed it. You can enter the giveaway by just typing Forge's Best. That's going to be a $20 gift card from the Forge. So go ahead, if you haven't already entered the giveaway, type hashtag Forge's Best to be entered in it. And as a recap, this is, from the Bazaar marketplace. You have the altar from Mark Drummond. Beautiful maps, beautiful content. And you can see 28 battle maps, immersive concept art, pre-built lighting, all of that. You can explore that from the Bazaar. And the second one that we showed was Edo Town from Tom Carlos. Japanese inspired, includes so many things. And just absolutely beautiful maps. Wow, that's really great. Edo map by Tom Carlos. And the third one was the Endless Dungeon by the Goblin Explorer. And it has these 4 amazing dungeon maps. And we also showcased Pointer and Pings by Moirel, as well as the Pings module by Azurite. So there you go. That was our Bazaar showcase.